It's been a minute since I uploaded, and that's because there wasn't much going on in the Tarkov scene. And so I just kind of stood back, at least from a, technical perspective. So I decided to just take a step back and let the chips fall where they may. But BSG has released some juicy examples of the tech that is going to be coming to a lot of different games in the future. So I figured that it would be a good time to delve in and see the improvements that were made to DLSS and FSR in this update. Now, if you couldn't tell, that's okay, but right now I'm actually inside of factory with FSR 2.2 set to quality. And I gotta say, I think this looks really freaking good for the boost in performance that you're getting from it. I don't have comparable figures to, compare from previous tests, just because there's been stuff that's changed with my rig since that time, and I didn't want to contaminate the data too much and give you guys a false picture of what was actually happening with the frames, at least with these upscalers. But the biggest thing I'm seeing right now, at least in factory, is the weird shivering that's happening on the floating dust particles that are floating around. I'll try to focus in on them as we're going through the video, but that's one thing that I did notice with FSR 2.2. The ghosting is a lot less, though. You can still see it if you try to focus in on it, but it definitely has lessened to an extent. Now, of course, FSR 2.2 and DLSS are only going to help in GPU bottleneck scenarios, so improvements to these technologies may not necessarily equate to more performance for most of you, but if you do rely on these technologies to play the game, I think this is a major improvement than FSR 1.0 like we had before, or DLSS, which we'll actually switch to right now with this image, so let's do that. So now we're on DLSS. As you can see, a lot of that flickering's actually gone away. It's still there for a little bit, but it's actually not too bad. And I'm pretty sure this might just be anecdotal evidence, but the image quality actually seems a little bit better than previous. I'm going to put a list, hopefully on screen, of what I found, the changes between, for example, FSR 2.1 and 2.2, and the DLSS version that we were on previously to the new one. And that's the issue. From all the articles that I could find, for the most part, there was a lot of just jargon saying it improved ghosting and boosted performance and all that stuff. So I'm actually going to link a wonderful Tech Power Up article that I found in the description, so you guys can kind of compare the different, DLSS 2.4.3, which I'm not sure if that was the one we had in Tarkov before, but it's comparing it to the newest one, which is 2.5.1, at least in Tarkov. So I'm going to leave that down below, along with a link to AMD's page where they talk about FSR 2.1 in comparison to 2.2. So yeah, anyway, back to the video. I'm just recording this as my first impression of what the changes were in that update. I'm actually going to take us out of this now that you've seen DLSS and FSR 2.2 on factory, and I'm going to take us straight over to Interchange, because I heard there's a lot of lighting changes there, and I want to see what the effects are of upscalers there. And also, here's the image from some of my previous videos, so you're able to cross-reference and see if it's any better. Obviously, YouTube compression and, video compression is going to cause a little bit of an issue with this, but yeah, let's switch over. Alrighty, so I got Interchange. I'm sure you guys have seen a bunch of different content creators talk about the lighting changes here. Does look a hell of a lot better, especially underground. I was just walking through there. But anyway, besides the point, DLSS is rocking it pretty hard here too. I know on Interchange you're probably going to run to CPU bottleneck more than a GPU one, but right now I'm still actually hitting it. Getting 150 FPS on my, overclocked 12600K. One thing I do want to note though, and I'll make a bigger comparison video when I start to gather more time to do so. But as you can see, I'll zoom in onto my gun here. Don't question this gun. As I walk to the left, you'll see a distinct white pattern on the top of the barrel. That's a pretty common sign of a little bit of ghosting going on there. This is with DLSS on. And I'll switch to FSR 2.2, see if that is still an issue. You're probably going to see that on a lot of different objects, but in a lesser extent than what you did before. But you can still see it's subtly noticeable if you were actually taking the time to look and examine it closely. On FSR 2, though, you do see the exact same thing. It's a bit more grainy, a bit sharper on FSR 2.2, and that might be something to keep in mind with as you're trying to decide which one to use if you have a 20 or 30 series or 40 series card. And when you're deciding whether to use DLSS or FSR, this might be something to keep in mind. So far, I think these are in a more playable state than when they were previously. For me, DLSS was a bit too blurry, and for FSR, I felt like I was just losing a bit too much. But now that FSR 2.2 is a thing, I think this is a fairly good and accurate representation of what the game would look like, you know, without these upscalers. I think they're doing a really fantastic job, especially with something as detailed as Tarkov. The final thing I wanted to note about these updates, these improvements to, you know, visibility in general, is you can see there's a lot of flickering in the distance, especially if you're using upscaling. I'm sure there's several points I will highlight on the screen right now, and I chose this image on purpose to where that flickering is occurring. You can see it on the registers in the center of my screen near my crosshair, on the top right, on the metallic paneling as it gets further away. The upscaler just doesn't know what to fucking do with it. Now I think about it though, after comparing this a bit more, DLSS does a really good job in actually getting rid of a good bit of that rippling. You can still see it in the light shading that's coming through on the right there. I'll highlight all the things I'm pointing at right now. I'm actually using my hand. There's still a little bit of shakiness in the image, especially in the center of my screen as well. But overall, if you're concerned with that flickering, then DLSS might be the option for you to choose over FSR 2.2. These are my rudimentary thoughts, so I haven't gone through on every single map and tested a bunch of different scenarios or anything like that. I just wanted to put out something quick and honestly, frankly, easy for me to put out there so that I could get your guys' feedback on what you think in the comments, and if you've been using these newly updated upscalers. Keep in mind that these things will continue to be updated. The lighting will continue to change in the game. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be spouting freaking nonsense at this point. There should be a graphical overhaul coming. I'm pretty sure that the developers have talked about that before, and people can correct me in the comments. I haven't been that up to date with what's been going on with Tarkov, to be frank. Yeah, let me know what other videos you guys would like to see in the comments below. I've been generally trying to keep an eye on the optimization scene, but I haven't been uploading anything in particular just because I don't want to give you guys something that's just not going to help you. And I feel like recycling the same content over and over again without it actually being needed is kind of shit. So I'm going to try to not do that for you guys and actually put out stuff that's either me commenting on new things that are coming out or some actual new advice. So I hope you guys just like this free-form style of me just talking my ass off. And I will hopefully see you guys in a stream that'll be coming soon. I don't know when I'm going to do one. There might be one right after this video. But if not, I'm going to have a weekly scheduled stream, which I'm thinking at this point is either going to be on Wednesday or Friday in the afternoon. Probably in the evening, actually. So just keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for the streams. They're going to be coming out on YouTube, not on Twitch, because I have ended my partnership with Twitch. All my homies love YouTube gaming. I will catch you guys in the next one, and thank you so much for the support on the videos. I appreciate it, and I hope to see you guys soon. Ready? This is Clem. Fucking out. Later. Also, I gotta deal with this fucking buffering again. Now I'm getting this bug. I can't believe this is back again. I hate this. This makes this game so much more boring, and I can't stand this shit. I should end this video.